Key point 1. The role of emotions in communication. We naturally understand how people feel by looking at their faces, listening to their voices, and watching their body movements. Our guesses may be right or wrong, but it's tough to tell the difference since we do it unconsciously. Additionally, our subconscious takes over when we sense danger, and the more instinctive areas of the brain react with the fight or flight response. When interacting with others, actively observe both their verbal and nonverbal cues. Facial expressions and eyes are crucial because they often show our natural responses to situations. When we communicate with others, our brain notices subtle changes in their facial muscles. And scientists think this is the primary method we use to convey and perceive emotional signals. Our brains automatically imitate these expressions, leading us to understand the other person's feelings. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. Emotions are integral to our identity and behavior. We pick up on other people's feelings, even when we don't realize it. We communicate our emotions through our faces, body movements, and voice. Strong feelings like anger or excitement make us talk faster, and actions like tapping our fingers show impatience. We can define certain communication styles based on how we interact with others. Although these types represent differentiating traits, they do not govern behavior, as these factors depend on our character, education, and environment. While no model of human demeanor can capture our individuality, merging individual variations into patterns can aid in understanding ourselves and others. This summary offers detailed methods developed by professionals on how to be better friends, lovers, colleagues, and acquaintances, resulting in happier relationships. Stay tuned for more insights and tips on enhancing your communication skills and building stronger relationships. Key point 2. The secrets to effective interaction. What we do and say impacts others in our immediate environment, yet we often remain oblivious to how our actions affect others. The same goes for our ability to recognize and react to others' emotions and ideas. Enhancing these skills will eventually lead to more rewarding relationships. Recognizing our impact and minimizing negativity makes it easier to work with others. The experience we gain should prompt us to refine our emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and sensitivity to others' needs. When individuals communicate with one another, they are more likely to fall into one of 4 categories: mobilizers, navigators, energizers, synthesizers. We will deepen our knowledge of ourselves and others by studying these 4 behavioral classifications mentioned in the upcoming minutes. Understanding these differences can also help us to strengthen our relationships. The body tells the mind what mood we are in, and vice versa. Catherine Stothard. We should learn to notice and handle our feelings to boost our emotional intelligence. The capacity to detect and appreciate how our actions influence others, coupled with the skill to understand their emotions and the reasons behind their behavior, are vital skills. Did you know? According to a study by the Economist Intelligence Unit, about 31% of low employee morale stems from poor communication. Key point 3. The way you communicate shapes your reality. Human and organizational development practitioner Linda Behrens identified the 4 interaction styles individuals commonly use in everyday interactions. Mobilizers. As action-oriented individuals, they move and talk rapidly, and others perceive them as direct and determined. They don't pay much attention to how others perceive them unless it's an emergency. Their level of confidence and decisiveness may be seen differently depending on the recipient, ranging from competent management to arrogance. Navigators. They are advocates who move and speak slowly and deliberately. Others perceive them as serious and concentrated. Although they are usually comfortable directing others, their actions suggest a preference for direct action. Additionally, despite appearing adamant, they might compromise and leave room for others to misinterpret their messages. The latter is especially true if they seem distant and passionate. Energizers. By moving and speaking enthusiastically, They encourage participation through their generally expressive and engaging personalities. Energizers don't worry about how they look or how fast they talk during a conversation, as long as the subject is essential to them. Their expressions may seem overbearing, and others may see them as hasty and unbothered. Synthesizers. Focused on achieving the best outcome, these individuals communicate gently and in a way that is unpretentious and accessible. Synthesizers are only bothered by mannerisms, facial expressions, or bodily movements if the occurrence is noteworthy. They always manage the group processes, ensure smooth operation, and avoid mistakes. Stress may arise if they are pressed for time, don't receive credit for their efforts, or must make quick decisions. The best way to change our environment is to look inward and make positive changes. Remember that interaction styles aren't permanent. They evolve and can change our behavior. You can analyze your communication with others and improve it as necessary.
Congratulations, you've hit a daily streak.
Key point 4. The influence of assumptions. We often believe that others think or feel the same way we do, so we are surprised when they don't see things as we do. Connecting with people who share similar backgrounds with us may seem easier, but it doesn't guarantee a perfect match. The way we think about others shapes our attitudes and actions. How we interact with others and how they react can either quickly and subtly lead to a strong rapport and empathy or a decline in productivity. Thus, careful consideration is essential for choosing thoughtful responses. We constantly notice cues from others, sometimes without even realizing it. Becoming more aware of this process enhances our ability to accurately interpret signals and react thoughtfully rather than reflexively. Through practice, we can refine our skills in detecting others' behavior. We need to be more open-minded and less judgmental to understand people better. Pay attention to the energy exchange when engaging with someone. Do you feel connected or distant? If you sense a disconnect, adjust your communication style to build rapport. Keep in mind that you can harness various types of energy. Initiating a new relationship with a neutral point allows you to tailor your approach based on your impressions of the other person. You can show more initiative by speaking faster and more confidently, or conversely, stick to a response style, speaking slowly and letting the other person talk more. By balancing between different ways of interaction, you can achieve greater mutual understanding. Another crucial aspect of engaging with others is to consider their perspective. While we naturally view things from our viewpoint, we can change our outlook to see things from another person's angle. Observing an issue as though you are an outsider and honoring both parties involved can be helpful. Imagine what an onlooker would notice, hear, think, or feel in response to your actions and words. Key point 5. The model of effective communication. Our facial expressions send different messages even when nobody is nearby. We react physically and loudly to sounds and texts, and our mental state, which we are sometimes unaware of, impacts our actions. Shanti, a team leader at a help desk, was dealing with personal issues, and her dissatisfaction was evident in her interactions with her personnel. As a result, the mood in her workplace shifted. In response to her behavior, the team's productivity dropped from one of the highest to the lowest. Her manager eventually saw the problem and transferred her to a new position. After the company hired a new team leader, their performance increased again. Communicate effectively by paying attention to what you say and how you say it. Your words, voice, and body gestures must be consistent. If they aren't, people may focus more on your tone and body language than your words. An effective way to interact with people is to use the model of input, process, and outcome. Input comes in 3 ways. Words. Try to appeal to emotions as well as the senses. Describe what you want, not what you don't. Tone of voice. Consider the main words in your message and the terms you want people to remember. Aim to get your point across in only a few well-chosen words. Body language. Be conscious of your body language and its signals during conversations. The process involves certain steps. Building rapport. Find common ground to foster a connection. When you know someone and share interests, it is simpler to disagree without offending them. Listening. Active listening involves asking questions, reflecting, and summarizing the other person's words to show you have understood them. The outcome is the result of the first two steps, which can be positive or negative. Everyone has a unique perspective on how they influence others. Knowing your abilities in persuasion boosts your confidence so you can use them more effectively. Key point 6. Believe in yourself to improve communication. Self-regard is a conviction in your skill and worth. When you believe you are always right, you will fight for what you want at the expense of others, and your attitude may make others feel worse. To get along with others, you must first like and trust yourself. If you struggle with low self-esteem and feel inferior to others, you may find yourself agreeing to their desires without voicing your own needs. You may refrain from explaining your position or asking questions about theirs, which may put you at a disadvantage. After all, lacking self-confidence or respect for others can hurt those around you and lead to a bleak situation. People may lose faith in you and your thoughts if you don't believe in yourself. To improve your self-regard, you can disregard insults from others. Allow praise from others to sink in. Seek support from others if you have concerns. Make sure you do something meaningful every day to generate self-esteem in others. Be open to different viewpoints. Show your admiration and control your criticism. Search for the positives first. Remember that helping others feel good is more beneficial than making them feel awful. The mind and body are closely connected. Our thoughts and emotions affect our physical state and behavior. When we feel confident, we hold ourselves upright, make eye contact, and speak with conviction. And in return, people are more likely to listen to what we say. Conversely, when we feel inadequate, we bend, shrink within ourselves, and talk more hesitantly, making people less receptive to our message. Conclusion. Getting along with others becomes easier when we have a sense of belonging and positive feelings about ourselves and others. However, we sometimes encounter difficulties that cause negative emotions like annoyance, impatience, worry, and despair, hindering our ability to connect. We all want to be around people who make us feel good, but even our friends may avoid us when we're down. So we must build resilience against anything that makes us feel inferior. Resilience is the skill to bounce back from life's challenges and setbacks while maintaining a positive outlook. Sometimes we cling to beliefs that harm our well-being and undermine our self-esteem. Developing confidence requires identifying when limiting beliefs act as a brake rather than an accelerator and impede our growth. Despite evidence that doing so makes us feel accomplished and boosts our self-confidence over time, we don't always reward ourselves when we achieve our goals. Instead, we move on to the next significant project. It is not essential to give yourself a substantial or monetary reward. Just taking a few hours off to do something you like could be highly motivating. Resilience, energy, and confidence are interconnected. You'll become stronger and more self-assured by managing your power effectively. It will help you make the most of your life, adding energy, enthusiasm, and unique appeal to your relationships. Try this. Practice active listening in conversations. Adapt your communication style to match the energy of the person you speak with. Reflect on your interaction style and how it affects your relationships. Spend time each day on activities that boost your self-esteem. Make an effort to understand and respect different perspectives in discussions.